Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to another exciting propaganda cast with me, host Imperial Dane, master propaganda hero, like defender of the fatherland. All fit exciting in 1 vs 1 on to Moscow between the north. You got Chet Dukab fighting for the Wehrmacht, Germany, Deutschland, rolling out here with the Panzer Division in the south. You got Imperial Dane himself fighting for king and country, the Commonwealth. Taking on the role here, the 51st Infantry Division holding the line as the Huns push forwards. We got here mechanized elite troops and lightning war here for the Chet with infantry, machine gun and tiger bulletins versus commando, vanguard and Royal Engineer. I have no idea why I got Royal Engineer there, to be honest. I have no sodding clue. With infantry, machine guns and comet bulletins there, we got section moving aggressive towards the fuel point there, second section moving towards the centre. We'll try to push up for the fuel point in the west with 8 MG42 Pioneer gun on the side here for the Chet Dukab. Pretty standard stuff there for both sides. So obviously more British players now going for heavy on the sections, less on the Vickers. So in that regard, I suppose I'm deviating by going for an earlier Vickers. When you're up there, Balvey could have laid down some sandbags to make it easy to defend this carve point. Definitely a bit of an oversight there by me, to be honest. Definitely a bit of an oversight. We've got the Vickers machine gun out there. Second Norfolk's there. And down here, sections of current points. MD4 doing this aggressively here as well. Chet setting his sights very heavily on the centre of the map there. As you might be noticing, MD42, Pioneers moving about. Morgan is on the way there for the Chet. Section moving up for the south. And the other section taking his plan to push for the fuel point there. Going here for Commando Regiment, since it is possibly my favourite regiment out of the British doctrines there. Offers a lot of fun and other bits. Section team to be up Chet on the south. Platoon command partner up there. I probably went for that one a bit too fast. Should have gone for either another Vickers or another section before I take up this fast. Bit of a mistake by me. But there you go, Vickers in this case getting 5 from Pioneers and the MD42 here. Did not anticipate my opponent would rush for the centre this aggressively, nor he would go for this house. It's actually a good house, but it's just so overlooked by a lot of players. And while normally the Vickers would actually win this engagement, because the MD42 got so much more time to shoot at the Vickers in there, and the Pioneers supporting, the Vickers will be forced to pull back here. So unless you got this active favourable, some engagement that I checked due to rushing up north here, section moving ahead, I'm going to try and rush for the house, but that's not going to work out well at all. My section basically takes too much damage, and I'm better off just retreating. So that's basically a series of engagements that I basically got botched from me. But the only thing that sort of works out here is the section by the east, and even that's going to run some issues. So he's got a Grenadiers Corps ready to defend the house by the carve point, preventing me from cutting off his resources there. Meanwhile, the Chet pushing it aggressively here in the wake of my complete western collapse. Sappers following up there, they won't be able to defend. Moving the other section towards these to grab points there, and we got a mortar as well for the Chet, so he's going in very aggressively there with a sort of mixed combined arms formation. Very good sort of opening there. Sappers moving in, and of course I spot the machine gun and I've realised things are about to get really ugly here, so he's basically just planning on just locking me down here, and this is basically where I regret not having laid down sandbags. So troops reinforcing, setting out there, and of course realising this is going to be at least hands-off for some time. I switch towards the east, so at least try and push up here and apply pressure around the area. Mortar out here for the Chet Dukab and the Panzer Division, as the 52nd Infantry Division scrambles to overcome the initial fumbles in defences and, well, overall offences as well. Just an initial fumble by me. But of course, any good player can fumble. Well, any decent player can fumble. The trick is, of course, overcoming said fumble afterwards. That's usually where I sort of see some skill displayed. So, in this case, my response is basically to set up manpower, build a mortar placement around here to basically cover the centre, make it hard for him to maintain the cut-off around here, and also deal with any other things, providing overall artillery support for that push. I mean, I could have just gone for more infantry, but I rather wanted artillery support. So, mortar placement it is for me. And because it's going to be placed there, it's going to be able to cover so the southern half of the village, so it's mostly going to be service defensive, and just pushing him off here from this basic pin on some Moskies. So it's not actually going to be able to cover a huge chunk of valuable territory. But it's going to allow me to overcome this pin, which is the basic plan here. Setting up the mortar in place from there. Vickers under fire from the mortar. Section trying to flank up here in this case. And kind of like you can see that Chet is very much anticipating. He knows I'm not going to be able to push through here, so he's basically banking up here. So the Chet's got this planned out. He's got this figured out, which is pretty neat. I'm moving up section of support though. Going to push in the meanwhile. Catches mortar off guard. Mortar placement is almost ready. Need to shift the Vickers up to support. That would not be a half bad idea. And section now rushed off. So some mixed luck here from me in initial bits, but there you go. Mortar placement already to unleash hell against the Hun. Got the mortar They're on the run as well. He's quickly repositioned his machine gun as he realizes I'm going to be firing at the last known position. The machine guns. And again, Ratchet here clearly knows what he's fighting against. He's probably done this a lot of times, and he's just reacting with as much efficiency as he can muster. So it's very interesting there from Ratchet. Just going to heal up. And Rafkin and the Vickers almost wiping out. They kind of got lucky maybe in there. Or he just got lucky. Almost wiped it either way. That did not work out too well. The troops reinforcing. Moving up here to push against the cut-off point there. Mortar will be soon firing. The problem, of course, it has a huge cooldown now on the barrage ability. And since you use that on a basic empty position, that's obviously not going to help me out. But they're going to need falling back here as the mortar emplacement threatens them. Could of course consider taking up for an armoured car. There we go. In fact, because I'm anticipating his next response will probably be some kind of vehicle to help me back. In these situations, you know, a flame for half would be very common to see. For some reason, my section runs up on the wrong side of the cover there, by the way. I've actually ordered them, and there's actually a bit of cover they can stick behind, but for some reason, they all decided to run on the opposite side of the cover, much to my annoyance. So far, they're a bit rotten luck. They're light machine on the way. They're destructing here. Plus, it's not hitting my fuel in the south. AC almost. Oh, I can actually call in now. So far here, a pretty poor start for me. AC on the way. AEC on the way. Section reinforcing. Baker setting it again. And it is versus section there, and now people got like to make a nice company on the way for Ratchet Ducab. Bit delayed taking, I would say. He's actually got plenty of resource floating out because that's giving me only more time to bring in stuff against him. Healing there, reinforcement once more. One kill so far, mortar placement. Vicker setting up there, taking heavy fire from the Grenadiers and whatnot. And a Rafkin as well, just retreating there. Not going to risk that. Mortar fire providing support against the Grenadiers in the east, and the mortar sending more troops towards the east again. So far, he's put, you know, just having a very strong lockdown of here. Again, it's just too narrow path to take up through and just makes it easy for him to defend. So again, I need to keep pushing up here, but of course my mortar can also provide covering fire. So that is very much what I do. And he's going for 2-2-2 here. Again, if your opponent, you know your opponent's going for the AC, by the way, you need at least 2. Of course, the 2-2 is reasonable counter the British infantry since they lack any sort of anti-tank weapons, sort of like the anti-tank grenade, the Panzerfaust and whatnot, so that can sort of be useful there. But again, you generally should anticipate an AC from the Brits, so generally you want 2 of them. And he's not going for a second one despite clearly having the resources for a second one, so this could be a strategic mistake there by Ratchet Ducab, which I will be able to exploit against him. So we shall see how that turns out. We shall see how that turns out. But there you go, continuing pushing up here, machine gun repositioning. Mortar as well, he's looking like to be able to counter my push up through here. Laying down mines here to cover up against any flanking attempts through here. Swift movement, swift attacks. Keep up the pressure, keep up the tempo. And I go taking to the centre where catch the machine gun and the mortar. No anti-tank weapons, no mines. He's not considered mining, probably because we're not getting his Grenadiers with them. And there you go, got the 2-2 arriving straight in front of the AC, which misses. But nonetheless, the centre has finally been opened up here. After several botched attempts by me, I'm finally making some progress again. Finally. He's laid down a telemine there, not a bad spot. And apparently that mortar player can actually cover that far. Interesting. And he's moving up here. Vickers moving in. Section falling back, grabbing the point. He needs to actually bled out quite a few victory points. So that obviously needs to be rectified. More samples on the way there. Obviously going for mines, but just in case he has been laying down mines. And there you go, got the 2-2 being repaired while under fire. And for some reason, I'm trying to get my AC to move through here. There's, at least from I can see, plenty of space, but for some reason it refuses to do so, which was much to my annoyance. Our victories moving back for reinforcement. Sappers setting out. Back here we got Taker for the Chet, who's going for a pack 40 in a single 2-2 again. A single 2-2 versus the AC is a weaker choice, in my opinion. As a 2-2-2 user, I liked it, Panzer Speerwagen. Generally you want 2. In fact, even if you're not dealing with an AC, you generally want 2. Like 1 ace or 2-2 is just, it tends to be not that efficient. You need 2 of them because that's when they sort of begin having an impact. There you go. Fresh pressure into there. There's been more frontage being opened up against my opponent. 6-pounder gun following up this. It's obviously at some point I'm going to anticipate armor, in which case I might as well go for it while I can. There's not really much else I can use the resource on it except another machine gun. And you can see Ratchet is trying to attack into me through here. It's getting set up to a flank, though that's going to encounter a few issues. As we got a mine down there, and kaboom, half the squad gone. Kaput. And the AC rolls, or the 2-2 rolls into the center there again, apparently forgetting I do have an AC, and any wrong mistake there can cost him the 2-2. Almost guarded here. He might try and bait me into the telemine, which is a bit risky, just into the pack. AC misses though spectacularly. Quick fallback here. Sabers need to retreat. Troops reinforcing there, and well, I couldn't theory soon call in a commander squad to set up some manpower. MD42 sitting up there in the corner house, as I'm freshly pushing up the west side again to try and harass, and more importantly, try to force them to relieve pressure here by having to move up there, so that can sort of help me out there. If I can sort of successfully get him to do that. Mortar up here. It looks like he's going to be threatening my fuel point again, the cheeky bastard. Of course, that is also my plan, so I guess we're even in that regard. So he can now build the support core. Looks like he's going to do that. Actually pretty fast for even one who's not going for a tier 3 rush. He's actually doing it faster than most tier 3 rushes, which is certainly impressive. So that indicates that Ratchet Ducap certainly got a lot of it smoothed out there. And had he probably tried to rush for tier 3, he might actually need to be able to push out a tank by now. So, I mean, he certainly got the potential. But there you go, heavy fighting around the fuel point here. As I'm moving up here as well, we've got a Glider squad moving in. Sabers arriving. Sabers if I need to retreat, I'm going to lose them. Wasn't anticipating going to do squad as well, but I can soon go for Commander Glider insertion. We'll use that to turn things around here. 6 pushing it, catching the mortar and the machine gun in a bad spot. Clearly Ratchet the Cap. OS messed it himself. I'm underestimating. ROA mortar down up north here. On this was a section. And they're out in the open. There's the section inside the house. That's pretty good for me. And there you go. Can also call in the commanders. Now Samp is just waiting for the commanders to be called in. And there you go. Successfully pushed off the fuel point there. Going straight for the mortar as well. Adding more artillery to my arsenal. Versus those dastardly 100. Chet on the other is yet to go for Doctrine. 200 points left. That's actually a bit of a problem there, as I've been not focusing enough on them. Though, of course, again, I've been focusing just getting control of the center. Because I can, hold this. Because also can just lock me down from moving around most of the map. So there you go. Out of the way though. Commander Glider on the way here. Gonna hit the fuel point there. Retreat the mortar. 6-pounder gun here to him defend the center against any armored rush. He's going for Panzer Grenadier first. He's probably setting up for the Panzer IV, then wants some infantry to work with it. Not a bad idea. There we go. Commanders arriving for King and Country with their silent stem guns, which the Germans actually utilised the ones they captured from the British. Scorsini, the sort of chief spec ops guy for the Germans, was in fact quite impressed by them. Rifle grenade off there against the machine gun, almost wiping it out. Of course, now I have 3 mortars, courtesy of the one I managed to steal from him. That's going to make it hard for him to attack into the centre, as he's going to be walking through quite a bit of artillery. Commanders advancing up here. And all of a sudden now I'm in control of more of the map. Plasma will soon be having control of both fuel points and can thusly consider taking ahead for armour myself. Until then, I might want to consider laying down some mines here and there to make it harder for the Chet to use any tanks against me. Also, I need to go for the victory points. I'm down to 169. He's still at 500. It's not encouraging. AC there, close to Veteran G1. The mortar moving up the section, heading down there as well. Big push into the rest of the Panzer Grenadiers, 2-2 Pioneer, Pack 40 Grenadiers. He's not going to tag in for him again. Ratchet here clearly displaying some greater tactical acumen here around just again. Try to go through, I know, the Clown Corridor and just attack into here. He's actually trying to extend to wider front, actually, attack through here, which is much more advantageous for him. So that is a really good move by Ratchet. Also, he knows he's ahead there, so he could also just launch an attack here and just isolate me in the center. He'd be pretty well off as well. So, I mean, in this regard, Ratchet is so far playing the map a lot more intelligently than I've seen most of our players ever do. So that deserves credit for sure. Take up there, Panzer on the way for Ratchet in the meanwhile, and the Panzer there, and here we got Commanders versus Grenadiers here. A light Gammon bomb forcing them away. The Gammon bomb was an interesting grenade in that it was technically sort of a multi-purpose grenade. Depending on how much plastic explosion popped into it, it was either sort of a regular hand grenade or was an anti-tank grenade. And basically worked by percussion, so you kind of had to be a bit careful with it, or else you'd get yourself killed. So, little fun fact there about the Gammon bomb. I mean, with minesweepers, in fact, I'm just laying down a lot of mines because I'm anticipating him to attack and I'm anticipating trying to flank me. Lastly, mines are a pretty good thing in those situations. But we can see him slowly advancing. He's not rushing again. He's got plenty of victory points to give off. So, in this regard, there is no rush for Rachet, which is a rule the, I think, right response here. Just sort of more slow, steady advance. There we go. Panzer out here. Section pushed away. Slow reconnaissance move towards to figure out what's going on. At the same time, he's hitting my fuel point again. He likes hitting them again. He's not putting too much emphasis. He's not, you know, a victim of Stalingrad syndromes. Again, I really have to give credit to Rachet here for some excellent map play here on Sumoski, because he's playing it a lot better than I've seen most players who ever get to play North Sumoski will ever do. So if you ever find yourself in North Sumoski, just ask yourself, what would Rachet do? And more than likely you're going to get, you know, much farther than you normally would. But his Panzer Reserve has a section of Pioneers grab the northern victory point again. Continuing the bleed against me. Section that just need to fall back and it's not in a good condition. Also need more mines here to cover the flank there. In the south, AC with sapper support flashing out there. Shifting into tank in that direction because I'm anticipating the Panzer IV. Crom on the way there for the 52nd Infantry Division, rushed in from the nearby Guards Armour to provide support. AC falling back in the face of the Grenadiers. Panzer Grenadiers, Pioneers swimming in, giving enough time from Vickers to reposition. Commanders moving up as well there. 6 Pioneer gun ready to fight the Panzer IV there. Go direct hit. Commanders pulling up there. Panzer is being shredded by the silent submachine guns. More taking hits there. Each switch to the Grenadiers, who wipe out the anti-tank gun. Good prioritization there by Rachet, taking out the machine gun or the anti-tank gun, making use of his Panzer IV to rush in. In the south, AC, they're getting Panzer fast by the Grenadiers, preventing from support here. Panzer IV down to half health. Crom on the way. They're recruiting the anti-tank with the commanders because I really want that Panzer IV dead if possible. I can get that Panzer IV out of the way. That's going to be a huge victory for me. Pack 40 falling back. Here's his left assault, those falling back. Got the Grenadiers got wiped out there. Small victory. Probably one of the biggest victories though for the time being. Alongside getting that mortar. Almost got the Panzer IV there with the anti-tank gun. Cromwell is rolling ahead here at maximum speed. Panzer IV wiped out the anti-tank gun. Cromwell's trying to strike, but there you go. Lingered for too long and got taken up by Cromwell. Definitely a good victory there for King and Country. And they're going on to the 2-2 if they can get rid of that as well. That's going to be another astounding victory for the Commonwealth. There we go, 2-2 down as well here. Cromwell making quite a splash there against the Chet Ducap. As opposed to that assault could have been executed slightly better with a bit more support, but of course he lacked the mortars to lay down a smoke screen. Could have gone with the Panzer IV a bit deeper. But enough about that. Section moving towards the east here. Cromwell moving westwards. Need to get capture here. More Grenadiers on the way there for Rachet and the Panzer. Sabres moving up from the south to grab more points as well. AC awaiting repairs in the centre to help defend the point there. And then going to hang in here. And here I think I'm just going to use a mortar car. It's one Grenadier squad. I just want to be able to stall the victory point, but just pushing away there. So in this case, just expending 150 munitions can in this case be worth it, though it's not on something I recommend in every situation. It's very much because of how low on victory points I am compared to him that I'm willing to expend it in the hopes you can just maybe slightly get a chance, but just bleed them out a bit and just, you know, gain the victory point, stall the bleed, buy myself more time. Otherwise, again, I'd normally not recommend it even remotely. Need to get the AC fixed up, mortar back into action. Need to get the 6 Pounder gun recruit, commanders sneaking about there, 3 kills. Veterans 1, Cromwell taking hits from the Pack 40. Still, I got the victory point here, and they're just beyond the circles. They can't grab the victory point there, and I realise it. But he's clearly making a push here again, though only with Pioneers and Packs. I'm just putting up the section here to fire from the small shed. Should keep those dastardly Huns a bit at bay. It's almost like a shooting range, yes, except the targets speak German instead of Irish. What shooting range would you all go to? Well, you know, that one in the fancier places of England. Commanders push back. Troops reinforcing. He is still yet to go for the doctrine. Of course, at this point, I'm also slightly pondering, should I prepare for a regular Tiger tank or should I be preparing for Ace? Because at this point, I'm pretty much anticipating either goes for elite troops or lightning war. I'm not anticipating him to think he's going to go for, you know, German mechanized. Of course, also means to try to push hard now to pressure him and make it hard for him to go for any of these, or to sort of try to just really prepare for the long haul and just sort of sit it out and just wear them down. Meanwhile, Chetler's going for a second Panther 4, mortar on the way there for him as well, so he's got a second mortar out. But of course, I've still got technically 3. So map control is sort of roughly 50-50ish, with me at least controlling some of the victory points a bit better this time around, getting off some better bleed against him. Controlling the centre decently as well, with a reasonably stronger position. And he's also running into some issues with his infantry. I mean, he's still got plenty of grenadiers, but he's running into a bit, you know, veterans issues since he's lost 1 squad. Of course, I've yet to upgrade in the section beyond further. I got bolts to them, not giving them brand guns. That's definitely something they could be doing better. Just, you know, I don't call in more commandos. There you go, second Panther fight for the Chitlu Cup. Sabs, they're getting bled out as they try to grab the Calf Point here for the northern munitions. Finding the south here, Cromwell head getting Panther fast. They're going to use this in a pretty bad position. Plus, we've got Commando sneaking up here as well. As they're moving towards the victory point in the east. Setting up for a small scale assault here, but the Vickers still remains in the centre. And there you go. Panzergrenadier find themselves under fire there from the church. My God, I thought they said it was cleared. Yeah, I guess they were wrong. And now Helmut's dead. Could have been worse. Otto could have been dead too. Vehicles are being pushed back. There's too low in health. No point finger out there. North mortar fire raining down the German positions. Section falling back here, a bit too bled out. And I actually end up going for a centaur because I realised most of the short infantry. And if he's playing for any of the two, the Ace or the, you know, Tiger tank, he's probably going to be relying a lot more on his infantry. In which case, we're going to punish the infantry. I can really do some severe damage here to that jet. Lastly, I go for the centaur. Anti-aircraft tank. For some reason I pop back to the Vickers there, then I realise that's a bad idea in a moment. I pull it back again before hopefully do not lose it. I also plan at some point actually building up a Fort Assembly to help strengthen my central position against those dastardly Jerrys. Centre advancing. Cromwell's thinking of certainly hiding behind just in case he tries to spring a surprise on me, in which case I got a surprise to return to him. Half the team down. AC almost good to go, and there you go, building the Fort Assembly here, strengthening my hold on the centre and giving me a fort reinforcement point. A lot of people, I think, tend to underestimate just how powerful it is being able to reinforce at the front line. That is a really strong ability in most cases, no matter which faction are playing as. But there you go, Anti-Tank trying to deal with the Panther. We got the armoured coming in as well. Sappers section finding about here, rushing down the Cromwell down. At the same time, attacking with the centre here because I knew it had the Pack 40 about there, so I was hoping to get behind it. Didn't quite work out. In this case, I end up, I think, still wiping it out. At the same time, calling in mortar cover here to deal with the Germans here. Wiping out his own mortar, by the way. Wiping out his mortar with my mortar cover. Panzer's trying to pull through the centre, taking fire from the mortar still. Full retreat here. Grenadiers almost being wiped out. It's just more mortar cover fire just rains down, turning the entire into hell zone. In the east, here, Commandos dealing with the Grenadiers. Sten guns tearing through German flesh. And there you go. Wipe the Grenadiers. Wipe the Pack 40. Huge losses here to the Chetlu Cup. Huge losses. He lost a lot of infantry, support weapons, and whatnot. So that was definitely quite efficient here. Need to get the Pack 40. We got this Panther 1 again for the Centaur, though. Need to get that one away before it's lost. Would be a shame to lose in particularly close to veterans you want. Good lord, there's Germans! Well, we're in close to Germany. What were you expecting? It's the Spanish. You were going to say Inquisition, weren't you? No! That joke's not yet to be! Shut up, Lawrence. So it's going for a Stuttgart up deal with my increasing armoured fleet. And I've still on the Pack 40 to provide me with more anti-tank support. Can't quite remember if I've actually seen any concussive grenades, but at this point I'm starting to begin. He's just thinking he's going to go for it, in which case, you know, more anti-tank guns along with more mines is going to be quite handy versus any Tiger Ace. And of course, it's going to work pretty well versus a Tiger tank. Vickers close to veteran 3, and of course now I got this, so I can always just reinforce at the front line, which is going to extend my front line durability. Pulling back the Pack 40s, that's actually a pretty bad position if it gets attacked by infantry. There's nothing to screen it, protect it. So there we go, I'm quickly putting it back. We can see though Rachet again is good at switching there. He's not going to push more through the west side again, as this is just not good attack territory. A bit like this was actually pretty terrible territory for me to attack through if he held it. Cromwell up and getting on these. Pack 40 got wiped. I should have pulled it back further here instead of just lining it up there. That was a bit tactically unwise. AC rolling in, Centaur moving in. Panther 4, Stuke moving in, Pioneers nearby support as well. Great hand the Panther 4 from the 6-pounder gun, down to half health. Pop smoke. Mine spotted by the way, and there you go, going to use out there. There's the Centaur. Mortifier raining down. Cromwell hit them, mine spotted by Stuke taking still hits the Cromwell trying to get past, not quite working out there. AC joining in, and the anti-tank gun is, I suppose, also trying to go. It's got the Stuke there, not quite working out. Going to do this. I think I got another squad there. Cromwell down though. AC trying to move in here. Not quite maneuvering because we've gone too auto focus here on the Centaur and the Grenadiers, and the 6-pounder gun, which for some reason is just starting and taking a really awkward path. So I end up losing both my Cromwell and my AC. Though of course at the same time I wipe all of his Grenadier squads, which is still pretty damn good. So now he's got barely any infantry support for his tanks. I mean, he's got 1 Panther Grenadier squad and 2 Pioneers. That's all he's got to work with this armour. He's quickly going for Grenadiers, so I might consider some Stormtroopers as well. A bit faster, and there you go. Around to infiltrate around the northern point. He's still got a bit of a lead then, victory point, but is quickly falling behind here. And I'm actually just using this bit of terrain there to save my section up north, because he's trying to catch with the Panther 4. They just get all the way and then retreat, and they'll just take the path down here. It's a bit of neat geography of this map. It's a rarely seen trick, and actually it's going to cause him to have his Panther 4 stuck in a slightly awkward position. He's going to have to try and get it all out again. So that works out quite nicely for me. And it goes Storm's being pushed back here by the Centaur. He could risk a wipe here. Section with a light machine gun. Even used strafing fire there to almost wipe them out. Up here the machine gun holding back my commandos for now. In this case, I'm basically pushing for hammer tractors and a comet to help versus the other armour, versus the infantry, and of course he goes for a Tiger Ace, which should also help versus that. Plus it gives me access to anti-tank grenades, or the bigger Gammon bombs. $19 kills in the Centaur, by the way. Choose to make back for healing reinforcement, but he's quickly able to replace some of his infantry losses, though he's still in an awkward position. He's still very much in an awkward position. Also, I need to grab that Pack 40 back again. And straight into the Telemine there. The one few mines is actually laid down. He has laid down others, but he's not been too extensive with his mining compared to these what I've gone for. These will soon be going for. Could actually be laying down more mines. Right now my Centaur's not in a bad spot. If you realise this, you could probably rush for this arm and destroy it, which would be pretty bad news for me, since I lose one of my best assets for just destroying his infantry, which is definitely one of the ways of just staying in the fight. Besides the commandos, I guess. And of course, all the mortars I've got. They're pulling back. Also pulling back here towards the Fort Assembly, so I can just reinforce my anti-tank gun. And lastly, the Fort Assembly showing as well. We've got a Stormtrooper squad appearing from where? Around here, in straight to the Vickers. Other Stormtrooper squad equipped with G43s. I always found that a waste, really. You should go for assault rifles on them if possible. And you go, Centaur opening up the advancing Panzer Grenadier. Out in the open, they are easy targets for the Centaur's expert gunners. And the commanders joining in those assaults, and him losing his veteran 2 Panzer Grenadiers in a matter of seconds. A massive blow there. Further forces falling back here towards the Fort Assembly there to reinforce. Panther 4 setting in for flanking on the other side. Stuke moving from the other side as well. Church collapse, costing me my Vickers machine gun. Gaining interest in the Panther 4. Nice little attack opportunity there. We got a Gammon bomb off against the house. Does he get? No, he doesn't get the Stormtroopers out, and they get wiped by the Gammon bomb. He's basically trying to manage too much here, And I basically tried to take advantage of that with the Gammon Bomb, and it worked out, actually, much to my surprise. Generally, I don't anticipate my Gammon Bombs being thrown like it's going to work out, but in this case, it jolly well did. The nice Panzer IV's almost down. And he is still incredibly short in infantry. He's laying down mines and telemines to try and catch up my tanks. Sneaky Rochet, sneaky. Not a bad idea though. Moving up one anti-tank and the command to support the centre as I'm trying to catch the Panzer IV, maybe destroy it. Pioneers, they're being shredded by the centre and the commandos. Victory point's a lot closer now. He's only got now a minuscule lead, and as you can see here, I'm beginning to mine. Obviously, the Stormtroopers really cute me, and it just confirmed my suspicions. So I'm basically just mining the centre of the map. So basically anticipating he's going to be attacking there with the Tigris whenever he gets it. So obviously having anything to sort of catch up the Tigris, remove one of its advantages with his speed, but do me a lot of good in actually defeating it. In particular, of course, once I got both packs there, anti-tank guns good to go. So I'm trying to predict most of its paths there, plus a few unanticipated mines just here and there, so that way just try and break down any Tigris assault on the village proper. Also, a tree just went flying. Also, research weapon racks, finally. Much delay. Of course, a lot of the munitions are now going for mines. Basically. Again, anticipating attack here, anticipating maybe try and break through here, mining here. I should also consider some mines around here. I could also consider a mine here, mines there. I've got a mine there, obviously, so that works out. But basically, just mining as many possible avenues for attack there from Chet there would be is what I'm basically sort of aiming to do. At the same time, I'm going here for the Comet tank. Not so seen lately with the bits, but still I think a pretty potent medium tank, particularly when utilised properly. So there you go, Comet tank out. Centre bar really close to Vetsinty 2. Really close. Getting ready to prepare for something. He's sneaking up with the Stormtroopers. Probably looking to do a bit of reconnaissance. But in this case, they're getting spotted already, I think. Oh, no, they didn't. Panzer IV being fixed up. Stug fixed up. Slowly advancing until points here. Bombarding here because I'm anticipating the storms are going to be around here. In this regard, it's rather obvious where this is going to be hiding. And there you go, even boating my section because I'm almost at full pop cap, so I might as well just look to make what few infantry section I have a bit tougher, more than anything else. Got my commandos hunting up on the northern victory point, by the way. There you go, Tiger Ace, he's probably going to go for it now. Again, it's also I'm not being too aggressive now because I want to be reasonably ready for the arrival of the Ace. Even with mines, they still want to be able to, react to it flexibly. Also here, just in case he either tries to be through, or there's some infantry support on the Tiger Ace. I mean, more mines could just help remove any infantry support for it. So there you go. Attack them north, they come out again, the Pioneers out in the open. Takes a direct hit from the Panzer IV, almost one the entire commander squad rolling in the Comet here. Shooting at the Panzer IV, misses spectacularly, Stug nearby. Centaur moving in, 6 pounder gun, Pack 40 just remaining behind. Sabbath moving up as well here. Spear hit there, got whacked. Stug misses the Comet, but gets off a target weak point. Centaur moving to wipe out the Pioneers, close to Vetsinty 2. Tigris moving up with infantry support, at least they're being pushed back already, it seems. Almost got the Pioneers wiped out. Just getting ready to attack here. Pulling back my armor, at least attempting to. For some reason, the Comet decided to take a path through here. And we'll likely be heading into that turn on mine. But there you go, the Tiger's going for the centre, and there you go, mine goes off. Round from the section. Round from released one of the anti-tank, another tank moving up. He's engaging it. Grenades off there, trying to reinforce it. Gets it wiped. And I pop a Gammon Bomb right behind the Tiger Ace. Even he tries to get away, this likely not going to wait. And there we go. Slowing down the engine further. Grenades off. And the 6 pounder Pack 40 crew, they're slowing it down. Centaur rushing into the infantry at least. Taken out by the Ace, but it gives the Pack 40 more time to maybe get off one more hit on the Ace. It gets wiped though. Sabba's moving straight here for the 6 pounder gun. Tiger Ace really low on health here. Really low. Good hit there. Good hit. One more hit. Takes a kill there. Moves into recruit, keeps reinforcing it by the way. Gunners keep killed again. Recruiting the Pak 40. Mortifier on it though, takes it out though. Mortifier takes out the Tiger Ace. Still getting away there, at least attempting to. So pretty brutal action, but in the end his Tiger Ace went down. Also, as it turns out, for some reason my Pak 40 bugged up, which we would only later find out. I actually thought the Pak 40 taken out, but it was the mortars. It might even been this mortar, maybe. No, it was the mortar emplacement. They got the finishing kill on the Tiger Ace. And there you go, hits a Telemine. And this is basically where then Percy found out my Pak 40 is bugged up, which allows the Panzer IV to escape, which was certainly a bit of a nuisance. But again, without the Ford Assembly, I wouldn't be able to hold the centre of the map so fit well as I did. 6-pounder gun that shoots, almost gets the Panzer IV, but it's just not enough. Grenadiers under heavy mortar fire from all the mortars. Need to get the infantry back here as much as you can. Plus, I'm harassing in the east. 89 has 113 victory points. It's certainly getting close. Grenade there, stuns the mortar. There's constant mortar fire all over the place, and there you go. Commanders arriving, sprinting forwards. Hatred for their hand in their hearts, and there you go. Grenadiers rushed off there, saving the mortar team just in the time. We got more stormtrooper squads out here for them, arriving here to harass my bagged up Pak 40. Northeast Sap has been engaged by the Panzer IV as it just tried to deny fuel for any more armour support. Still running about there. Haas collapsed finally, denying him a place to hide up with the stormtroopers and of course infiltrate from. Most of the village, by the way, has been levelled. There's a shed here and a shed there, and that's pretty much what's left of the village proper. Everything else has been utterly annihilated. Mine goes off there, wiping out another stormtrooper squad of his here. That shed is bleeding out badly now, and I'm intending overall much better, force composition, just force size. The mines, they're proving to be, of course, an amazing investment. The Ford Assembly also proving to be a pretty good one. Enemy down to 75 points. 75 points left here. I'm actually aiming for a second Comet. That Chet seems a bit lost at the moment. He's got a Stuke, he's got a Vetri 2 Panzer IV. Both, in fact, Vetri 2 and his Panzer IV is almost ace level. But he's critically short of infantry. He's increasing up against a lot of veteran infantry, and this is basically where the Wehrmacht sort of runs into the problem, because late game they just have no way of really overcoming that. It is one of their bigger weaknesses. That's sort of where the issue with the 4-man squads, but nothing to compensate for, unlike Wehrmacht in Company 1, sort of begins to appear. A capture point is being overrun. Southeast section line to the MD42, almost Vetri 2 on that one. Comet on the way there, Comet number 2. Moving up here to mine the northern victory point there. He's down to 39 victory points, 38. Troop ceiling. Our capture point. They're trying to take it. Halfway done. Bit of quiet here, so I imagine he's assembling a plan for whatever forces he's got left to maybe push ahead with. There'll probably be some stormtroopers being infiltrated. Mines being laid down there. Grenadiers heading out there, probably without any weapons. Obviously, I could at this point consider getting myself some Bren guns. For some reason, I completely forgot about it, which is certainly a mistake. Pioneers bring up the sappers nearby. And Comet done. 25 points left here for the Chet and the Panzerlehr Panzerdivision. Rolling up the Comet here past the wreckage of the Allen, which is certainly quite a bit burned out. How's that Telemine paying itself off nicely there for the Chet? There we go. Comet engaging the Panzer IV. Section in help deal with the Pioneers. Panzer IV down to half health. The Panzer IV is able to land a single hit on the Comet. At least a penetrating hit. Another hit that Panzer IV though gains the ace level. Gains the ace level. Pulling back the Comet, here's my section, grabs the point. Shot bounces off the Panzer IV there. Max range, section almost got the victory point. Commands winning. They're going to basically clear out the pioneers, of course. Here's the thing. His tanks can't grab the point at all. If he'd gone for encirclement, I could actually worry about that. But I know he hasn't because he doesn't even have it. Comet falling back here. Panzer IV Stuka now basically not achieving anything there except just guarding one of my points. He's down to 19 victory points, at which point I basically begin shifting whatever got towards the eastern point to rush that one. He's calling in Stormtrooper around the centre, trying to get that, and there we go. Rechet realises he's lost. Game over. GG. A victory for King and Country, a victory for the Commonwealth, a loss for the German army. The Panzerlehr is forced to fall back. So there you go, a brutal 1 vs 1 on Semoski, featuring Tiger Aces, Stormtroopers, Commandos, Mortar Cover, Comets, Cromwell, Centaurs, and a lot of other things. Overall, I mean, Rechet in many ways played the map well. I mean, it's certainly hard to make the best out of Semoski compared again, I think, to a lot of players. The issue was just he made some tactical and strategic misdecisions here and there, which rather made it easier for me to deal with them. He was too slow in choosing a doctrine. For example, he could have benefited a lot more from an earlier elite troops doctrine. That would have done him a ton of good, I think, in comparison to just waiting to only choose really for the Tiger Race and then calling in Stormtroopers. That really, I think, hurt him. There was also a lack of mines here and there. S-mines, bunkers could also look good. And maybe a half-trick to maintain better frontline presence, I think, would also have done that Ched a lot of good, really. So there's definitely some room for improvement there for that Ched. My mistakes on the hand were very much early game. I teched up too fast, didn't go for enough sections. Had I done that, I probably had a better chance. Maybe would have been pushed south eastly, so I didn't have to expend so much resource. But again, as you can see, with the bridges, you definitely have a lot more comeback ability, I think, compared to the Wehrmacht. I mean, you know, could you still get back into the fight, push back, and so, you know, begin punishing my opponent. So there you go. Hope you enjoyed this match. If you did, you know, subscribe, like, share, comment on it. And also, you know, send a replay of your own. Links in the video description. We can also find links to donating or supporting the Propaganda Cast for Patreon. Either of which, of course, I most appreciate. Of course, a big thanks to all those who are already pledging on Patreon. You're all wonderful, charming people. So thank you all, and see you all tomorrow for another Sonic episode. Cheers.